So what's unique about Point Nine and the way you as a VC firm engage with your entrepreneurs and with your portfolio companies?
So our mission and ambition at Point Nine is really to find great entrepreneurs building B2B SaaS and marketplace businesses at the seed stage. And we've been, for the past 12 years, purists of the seed stage, supporting entrepreneurs at what we call the Point Nine stage before that 1.0 version of the business is ready to launch. And we've throughout the years, by having the focus on the stage and on that search for product market fit, and B, that focus on the types of businesses that we back, we've gathered a lot of expertise after working with more than 140 companies in how to support entrepreneurs. And each of us at Point Nine will do about 2-3 investments each year, which means that we really spend a lot of time with our portfolio companies, and we really want to be an extended part of the small team that constitutes the business at that point in time. And we put a lot of effort in really supporting our businesses getting through product market fit and to a position where they then 12, 18 months post our investment are ready to raise a 10, 15 million Series A round to scale the business onwards. And I think decoupling that, it means that we focus on really what's needed to help the business get to the next stage, helping them figure out and structure their go-to-market strategy and motion, helping them build out the product function and make sure that really we're building product iteratively at a fast pace with the customer needs front and center, and ultimately help support the founders in building the team, hiring and bringing A players into the organization, really to prepare the business for scale. And hiring is really something that I'm very passionate about and like to spend a good amount of time with the Point Nine portfolio on.
So we'll come back to the hiring and talent side of things in a moment. You mentioned product market fit. In such early stage businesses, how do you validate product market fit?
There's no one size fits all for product market fit, but we feel that a business reaches product market fit when they've been able to find an efficient way to distribute their product offering to a specific segment to the market, and ultimately are then able to scale the product in a way that then enables them to tap in a bigger and bigger segment of the market that they're tapping into. And it's difficult to point out we are at product market fit in general, but I think what we see and help our founders effectively achieve is that they have the confidence that the way they're developing the product and the way they're reaching their customers in the market brings effectively an efficient and profitable way of developing the business from a customer acquisition and lifetime value point of view. It's a lot about finding that gravity center that a business needs to have in order to then be able to raise capital to scale. Without that gravity center in place, without that understanding of the economics of the business, a business can raise a lot of money but be very inefficient in the way they spend that capital.
If you were not absolutely convinced about product market fit, and it's hard to be 100% convinced, but let's say that the founding team, the leadership team, has really blown you away with their ideas, with their ambition, with their work ethic, and all of those things that you look for, the human side of things, but they hadn't entirely convinced you on product market fit. Now we see lots of businesses pivot. They often pivot more than once. Would you still back a business like that, or would you tell them, no, go back to the drawing board, don't come back to us until you've just really figured out the product market fit?
So we definitely invest in businesses before they've nailed PMF. That's part of the work that we do, really help them achieve that so that they can then get to raise a strong Series A round. I think what we look for in the businesses that we back is a lot of the things that you mentioned there, right? Like a very strong founding team with a clear understanding of the problem space they're building towards, with unique insights that enable them to have a very opinionated view and understanding of the market that they're targeting, and ultimately some evidence of potential product market fit, right? Like maybe it's, we hate to put the line in the sand in terms of revenue numbers, because many times we invest pre-revenue, but ultimately that they are building a product or a prototype of their product with some initial usage, or with some initial pilot users, or with a handful of customers that enable us to build a thesis around what needs to be done in the following year or year and a half to achieve that stability and ultimately be able to raise that Series A round, is what we love to see, right? Like that thesis building that we do in conjunction with the founder when we're assessing the business, is really part of what really gets us excited about backing a specific founder.
Understood. And when we last spoke, you mentioned that one of the traits you look for is that the founders need to be hiring machines, which as a headhunter is music to my ears. So how exactly do you make this judgment with the businesses, with the people you invest in?
Indeed, right? Like I think, ultimately a big part of the job of a founder as he scales his business is about building out the teams and the organization, right? Like, so this is a critical skill they need to have or acquire and constantly improve on over time. And for us, is the traits that we try to look into is like who they've picked as co-founders and how they came to be convinced to join that specific founder on his adventure, how they've attracted initial talent into the business, or who they think they need to hire to complement the existing team at the point at which we invest, and looking at the years ahead of them. Really try to understand if he or she is able to effectively build a strong narrative about his business, right? Like if the founder is a great storyteller and is able to get us very excited about the business he's or she is building, it becomes very evident that they will be able to replicate that excitement across the potential candidates that they are trying to bring on board into the company over time. So we ask ourselves, is such a founder able to really in the future close top VP or C-level hires? Will she or he be able to motivate and inspire people? And will she or he be able to go beyond personal networks that already know the founder from previous experiences? I think a lot of the traits related to fundraising and explaining the story that and the mission the founders are on is really a great sort of parallel to how they would be able to attract top talent over time for the business they're building.
I've noticed that a lot of really early stage companies are starting to take on board a head of talent or a head of people quite early in their maturity. What are your thoughts on that? When is the right time for a startup to hire a head of talent or a head of people?
This is a great topic to discuss. We really spend a lot of time with founders making sure at the earliest stages, right? Like after they raise the seed round from 0.9, we spend time with them making sure they professionalize the whole HR people talent function in the organization.